Technology advances in Europe at the end of the Middle Ages fueled the Great Divergence that included advanced shipbuilding and the Columbian Exchange, but also printing, improved literacy, the rise of the scientific revolution, Enlightenment, and Reformation. The key invention was Gutenberg's printing press and mass production of printing. European languages had the advantage of a reasonable number of letters that could be manufactured for a printing press. Gutenberg also was able to adapt a wine press. He was an unfortunate loser, but many took up the cause of printing across Europe to great success. The first book published in London was the Canterbury Tales of 1478. Universities were a medieval invention, resulting in scholarship jumping from religion to science, philosophy, history, and more. Scholars became university affiliated, like Isaac Newton at Cambridge, publishing Principia in 1687 and becoming a member of the Royal Society. The scientific revolution was well underway. Extending literacy and communication across the continent helped fuel the Enlightenment, the 17th and 18th century movement to consider God, reason, nature, and humanity. Considerations included philosophy, politics, and art. Important names included Descartes, Hobbes, Spinoza, Pascal, Leibniz, and Locke. Democracy and rule of law seem fundamental, but have been struggles to create and maintain, with England taking the lead despite a long tradition of kings and queens. Parliament became increasingly important as kings needed revenue for usually ridiculous wars and extravagance that came from Parliament. Parliament became increasingly democratic, but still far from a classic definition of democracy. The rising power of the landed gentry, merchants, and bankers meant an increased demand for property rights and rule of law. Rivers meant shipping and water wheels, initially used by millers for grinding grains, then metallurgy and lumber yards. Britain had hundreds of water wheels. They had sheep producing wool used for textiles, initially with spinning and weaving done in workers' homes. Key inventions started with the spinning jenny by James Hargreaves in 1767, then Richard Arkwright's water frame using water power, and Samuel Crompton's spinning mule. Many textile mills were built when patents ended in 1783. Arkwright opened a factory with a bank of machines for making yarn. Mechanical weaving machinery using water power started with Edward Cartwright in 1785. Thomas Johnson built a 200 loom factory in Manchester in 1806. Manchester had the infrastructure for manufacturing, including export facilities with rivers and canals. There were some 250,000 power looms in England by mid-century. Industrial mass production meant steam power. When did that start and how did it work? Next time on Food History and Mystery.